Right, let's hop back into the grind, shall we, chat? First game of the night, baby. See who or what we get. Too early? You're just on time. What's up, Joe Mar? Just started the stream, searching for the first op of the night. What's up, Dominic? You're still second. Alright, shout out. I guess I could warm up with some puzzles. Puzzles. There's no one here. I think this is a good late night song. Let's go ahead and do Puzzle Rush. Solve puzzles as many as possible, as quickly as possible. Queen sack. My hand, just the way you stand. Bad. You're calculating so quickly, people think you're memorizing every puzzle. Um, that's quite an honor. But here, if you just look at like a lot of the puzzles, a lot of them, I'm just looking for the most forcing move on the board. That's what my eyes are trained to do when I see a chessboard. Take this puzzle, for example. I start with the enemy king, and I just look at the weak squares around him, i.e. I look for squares that are undefended, that his pieces don't have territory over. So my eyes just automatically kind of hover to the D1 square. How do you get a queen there, you know? So that kind of just happens in my brain in like a second because I've trained my eyes to look for the most forcing move on the board, right? So it's kind of just like that, you know? Let's go ahead and play some rapid chess. I don't know. I don't even know what this is. This isn't one of the ones I was just doing. Appreciate the heart me Stein shout out. Can you hook me up with premium, brother? Unfortunately, I don't like work for chess.com or like have any connection with them. Or maybe one day, baby. Maybe one day. How do you train your chess eyes to do that? I think doing different puzzles helps you train your eyes in general to be looking for tactics or weaknesses, but the ability to spot them, I think you have to train your eyes to constantly, at least in the back of your head, like the first moves you should be considering, almost in any position, I would say after like the first opening moves is the most forcing move on the chessboard. The move that leaves your opponent the fewest amount of options, that generates the biggest threat, whether it's a check or attacking a valuable piece, right? Or just, in some simpler positions, just going after their king in like an in-game or something, right? You look for the most forcing move, and then it's up to you instead of just looking and being like, I can't do that because it like blunders a piece or it just looks awful, right? It blunders a piece or it gives away material or it just looks ridiculous for whatever reason, right? It's important instead of just saying it looks ridiculous that you actually come up with a response for your opponent. You're like, it looks ridiculous because my opponent has. And if you like take that pause and like actually genuinely look for the move, you'll be surprised to see how many times you'll be like, wait a minute, actually that doesn't work. I have that. Oh my gosh. But you have to train your eyes to be willing to accept that like the most forcing move in the position to constantly be looking for it. Who's your favorite chess influencer, Zod? Um, I don't really keep up with chess influencers to be honest, or influencers at all. I try to stay off of social media and stuff these days, or just in general. Um, so yeah, I don't really know. That's a good cue. Um, if I had to pick, let's see, favorite chess influencer. I don't know. So maybe the most humble chess player of all time. That might be my favorite. Zod to be next in the ring with Mike Tyson. Easy win. Let's go. I can go pawn to d3. Yeah, I think I'll just keep it standard. Chess Bra. Shout out to Chess Bras. I haven't kept up with them in forever, but um, they'll always be like my OG superstars. Because before them, I thought, if you wanted to stream chess, you had to be like a professor, like sternly just looking at the chessboard, being like, you're saying you'll go here because of the X and Y. Appreciate the follow, Sammy Fernandez. Shout out. It means you blindly make moves without having the ability to calculate and get frustrated. Wait, what does? Going on tilt. Appreciate the follow, Burner. Appreciate the follow, Ruger Crinch. Need some general Zod W's after that game. After which game? Did I miss something? The only sports game I watched tonight was the Anaheim Ducks versus Detroit Red Wings. I'm a huge Ducks fan, so cheering for the boys. Cutter Gauthier, first career NHL goal tonight, baby. I was pumped. I was pumped for him. It was the go-ahead goal too. The game was tied 3-3 in the third period, and Cutter sniped one. First career goal. I was so happy for him. He gets the monkey off the back. I feel like I should be pretty happy with this. Bishop to e3 looks natural. I feel like knight d7 is coming. If I go f5, he goes e5. I go g5, he goes knight to d7. What happens if I go f6? Takes, takes. Bishop e3 first. Love from Nepal's out. Shout out Thorfinn. Are you living in Anaheim? No, I'm from Oklahoma. I've just been a Ducks fan since I was really little. Knight g3, maybe? Bishop h4. I guess bishop f2. What's up, Taishan, the general? Are you a Thunder fan as well? I am indeed. Been a rough couple years being a Thunder fan lately, but looks like the tides are turning. All the young talent that we, all those draft picks that we've stockpiled over the years from like the Paul George trade and whatnot, finally starting to bear fruit. Goes there. Can I just say his bishop is trapped now with knight here, though? I mean, he can take on c2. I don't really like the idea of that, so I'm gonna go c4. Okay, now it seems like knight h1 is a good move. Because how does his bishop get out? Well, he can go knight g6. Because takes, that's not a threat though, is it? I mean, it's not fun to deal with. He wants knight c5. I retreat the rook. He takes the pawn. I go queen to g4, hitting the bishop. Queen h5. If I take the knight, I don't know. I think I gotta go for this. It's kind of dicey. Do I get greedy and try b3? No, I think I'm just gonna send it with the queen over here. Other to c1. I might just play a4. Takes with the knight. Bishop to f1. Pawn to d5. I think I take first, ask questions later. Here. Or here. f5? Quite sure. Feels like f5 could be a move, though. Might send it. I just heard your voice and knew you were downtime. What is that even supposed to mean? I mean, I am down. So, I guess whatever it's supposed to mean is pretty accurate. I wonder if I was supposed to get my knight into the game. Gotta generate some threats. Doubt I always opt to push P. We threaten mate. He did play that kind of carelessly. Hold up. If I take here, he takes. That's no good. Queen to f6 looks like the only option. Generate a threat. Rook here, but knight f5 offers to sack everything. If I go here for the check, he goes pawn g5. Then I go queen f6 and he goes knight there, so that's no good. This is crunch time, baby. Gotta find something. F2 maybe? Not really sure what to play after that, but knight f2 is a legal move on the chessboard, so I'm going to play it. Not really sure if it works, but I feel like g4, much harder square to guard. And he says you don't have mate or nothing. Spidey senses are kind of tingling now, though. Takes. I take with the queen. At very least I have a pawn h4. King takes. King f2. I think knight h2. Because I'm threatening mate here. He has no checks. Knight h2 threatens knight f3 checkmate and queen g4. Wait, is this not mate? There's no mate after... Oh my gosh. Say don't panic, but... How do I get to his king? Very, very important. 8 seconds to go. This is insane next to mine. I've walked him down the entire board, sacrificed my entire army, sacrificed a rook, all my pawns, knight. It's all gone. But it'll all be worth it if I can get mate. But 8 seconds. Threatening mate on queen g4. And we clutch out the George W. 0 mistakes, 0 blunders, 0 misses. Was this actually that nice? Ay, ay, ay. The Wi-Fi gambit? Is the Wi-Fi crashing tonight, chat? Oh my gosh. I was looking at the Wi-Fi earlier and I reset it to try and make sure it was A-okay, but... Are we having Wi-Fi issues? Ay, ay, ay. Clip that? Oh, for sure. Definitely gotta clip it. Wonder what the accuracy was. 99%. I wish. Alright. 84%, and we had a brilliant. Alright. You're lagging the Wi-Fi gambit. F Wi-Fi. Okay, chat. I won't force a stream if the Wi-Fi is bad. It was storming tonight, and sometimes the Wi-Fi gets really, really bad once it's storming out. So, I don't want to, what do you call it? You know, force the stream on a bad night. I can just do an early stream tomorrow when the Wi-Fi will be good. Saturday morning. But anyway, let's get through the game. Play a closed Sicilian, okay? And I think I was doing really well, but I stopped paying attention to the position. Ay, ay, ay. I can see it cutting out. I can see it cutting out. Okay. We got to get through this review, though, because this was a crazy game, all right? Even if we only play one game tonight, this was a nuts game to witness. So I played pawn to g5 here with the idea that I want to force his dark square bishop to take. But then after he didn't take, I was like, wait a minute. If I move my knight back to h1, his bishop has nowhere to go and it has no piece to trade off to, and I could just play queen g4 and trap it. But I didn't want my pawn on c2 to hang to do that. Even if it might mean I win a minor piece, I didn't think it would be worth it because my entire center would be gone and black would have a huge attack against my king by the time I went out of my way to capture the bishop all the way over here. So instead, I decided to defend the pawn first, and now I go for this idea. Clearly, it's not really good. The computer is not fond of it because even though I'm going to be up a minor piece here, these extra pawns that black has, he has 3 pawns for a piece, so the material value is the same. And because these 2 connected pass pawns are already in my territory, right, they march down the board really quickly towards making another queen. So after rook to c1 to try and slow down the knight, I centralize my bishop, stopping the pawn but also glaring down for a potential sacrifice. And now he plays rook to c8, and I'm like, at this point, I'm all in on the position. I feel like I should have played bishop takes g7 at this point instead of pawn to f5. I got greedy with pawn to f5 because bishop to takes on g7 looked like a draw to me. But after pawn to e5, I knew I was worse, but I had to go ahead and try and complicate things. And now my opponent started playing too quickly. He played pawn takes h6. It's still very complicated, but apparently now in this position, in a position where I have sacrificed 5 pawns for a piece and I have a piece hanging, white is now better because the attack on the enemy king is coming and it's coming quickly. After pawn takes, I have now sacrificed a piece and I am down 3 pawns to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm down 4 pawns and I just sacrificed the minor piece that I won. And now it looks like, okay, after I take the knight, it looks like, I might be able to get a little something going, but these pawns are just storming down the board. So instead, I play the most forcing move on the board and I capture the pawn instead of the knight. The reason this is important is because now I'm threatening checkmate on h8. The only way for my opponent to not get checkmated is to play the move that he played, which is filling a role offensively or defensively, right? You always got to try to get the most out of your minor, get the most out of your minor pieces, and a lot of that comes from putting them in a good position to succeed. So after knight to f2 here, he plays knight to g8, and now apparently it's force mate in 6. After knight to g4, king to g5, rook to f5, we sacrificed the rook. All right, I was calculating this as well as I could. I knew time pressure was going to get to me eventually, but I also felt like if I calculate this right, I knew there was checkmate on the board. I didn't actually know, but Spidey senses told me in the heat of the moment checkmate was on the horizon. So after pawn takes the rook, now I capture with the queen, and thanks to this knight on g4, the king is cut off from going back into the safety of his army, right? And the queen that's only covering the second rank, and he's forced upward into my side of the board. And now after knight to h2, I missed the most forcing line knight to f6. It's still winning here for white, but it's no longer forced checkmate. And now after queen to g7, it's once again mate in 3 with knight to f3, king to g3, and now I block the queen off from helping out, and now I'm threatening mate on g4 and on f2. And so he blocked one of the checkmates by playing knight to e5, trying to rattle me, being like, oh no, look, you have to capture the rook or else you're going to get captured down here. But queen to f2 just ends the game on the spot with checkmate. All right. Chat, I think the Wi-Fi is just awful tonight. The storm is getting worse and worse. All right. I'm going to do an early stream tomorrow instead of trying to like power through the stream tonight because the Wi-Fi isn't going to improve. All right. Apologies for the early stream, but it is what it is. All right. Sometimes you can't power through. Just wop off. Start again tomorrow, you know. We'll be back tomorrow. All right, don't worry about it. It is what it is, and we'll be back with an early stream. All right, my bad about the lag. Just a storm blowing through. All right, knocks the Wi-Fi off, but we'll be back tomorrow, chat. All right, thank you guys for stopping by the stream. I appreciate it. Let me go ahead and